Anna Scheller here with Capri Temporary Housing. Thank you for joining me for this third video in the 3-video series on holiday safety. Yes, I know, it's after the holidays. It's already the 3rd or 4th of January. That's okay, because the tips I'm going to share today are tips that are going to help you throughout the year. You see, we at Capri Temporary Housing, we're not just concerned about providing great housing for our clients while they're away from home, but we know that things that happen at home affect you when you're on the road or working or traveling. At the end of this video, I'm going to invite you to join our mailing list so that you can get more helpful tips like this throughout the year in your email box. Well, this final video in our series is a very important subject for any family. I want to applaud you for joining me. And before I go on, let me ask you a couple of questions. Would you agree with me that the internet is a great place and it's offered tremendous opportunity for information, shopping, learning, for business, the marketplace? You would agree with me, right? But we also agree that the internet also carries with it danger. Danger to ourselves, but more importantly, danger to our children. Now, in this video, the information that I share, if you implement even one tip, you could deepen your relationship with your child or children and protect them from a possible cyberbully or stalker. Not only that, but you could begin building the foundation of a lifelong relationship of trust between you and your children. Are you ready? All right, let's go. The internet has truly shrunk the world. With eBay and Amazon, we can buy and sell goods at discounts from any country. Chat rooms and social media have opened the door to new relationships with people on other continents that we would never have met otherwise. Yes, these same advantages, though, also pose dangers to our children who have greater access to the internet through the multiple electronics. My son can watch a video on Netflix on his PS Vita, something that I wasn't even doing when we had on my own computer. So, why is this such a concern? Well, it's because of the ready access our kids have to the internet. It's so readily available to them, and there's so much that can happen that we're not aware of. And surely we want to be aware of what's going on in our children's lives. We can't control everything, but we can certainly be aware. You know, the internet is a great place for cyber stalkers to lure victims. You remember the characteristics of the criminal mind that I shared with you in the first video? Well, criminals are always looking for opportunity, and they love anonymity. And of course, the internet provides both in a very, very easy way for them. In a chat room, a 42-year-old man can pose as a 15-year-old boy and talk to a young lady, convincing her that he is safe. If she feels lonely or rejected, he can groom her to get her to trust him until she falls prey to his trap and she's no longer free to spring out of the trap. Sadly, this happens often on the internet, and those stalkers will find the children and commit crimes against those children. But I have good news. You do have tools to intervene or prevent your child from becoming the victim of one of these predators. First, I want to share with you to look at the internet not as a problem, but as an opportunity to engage and learn with your child. Spend time with your child and monitor where your child goes. Use it as a way to learn more about what they like and dislike. That's absolutely one of the best ways to get to know your children and to spend time with them. But more importantly, don't do it just to find out what they're doing. Do it to show genuine interest in what interests your child, and use it to build a bond between you and your child before trouble starts. Second, keep communication lines open. You know, this is just good old relationship building. It's just good old plain good parenting. if your child can talk to you about what bothers them, then you'll be able to guide them through any difficulties they encounter on the internet. A key to open communication is to allow your child to be able to share whatever's bothering them in a safe environment. We have a rule in my house, and the rule is if a child gets in trouble or does something wrong, if they come and they tell us what they're doing or what's happened, then they will not get punished. Rather, we will guide them through the consequences they need to face in order to rectify their mistake or to make restitution for the wrong they've committed. Now that means I've heard some things that I didn't expect to hear from my children. But that's okay, because I would rather know what that happened and help them, guide them, use it as a learning tool for them to show them how to respond maturely instead of the immature way that a child will tend to respond. Now, let's take that to the internet for a minute. Your child may accidentally click on an adult site while doing a Google search for a research project. We know that that is likely. That has happened many, many times. There are internet filters. Some people choose to use them. Some people don't. I believe they've improved over the years. But keep in mind that cyberstalkers will use secrecy and pornography to lure children. So a child may see that image. If they feel comfortable coming to you, then that keeps that takes like the tentacles out of the lure that the cyberstalker has placed through that internet website. And they're less likely to be trapped by someone who is trying to use shame to keep them from talking to the parents. Because obviously, if your children are talking to you, then a cyberstalker can't even get to first base. When I was a child, and this was quite a long time ago, but my mother was gone a lot from our home. We had a sick sister, and Mom had to go to the hospital with her frequently. And it was during one of those times that my sister and I picked up the phone. Someone had called, and it was someone that we didn't know. It was a man, and he was saying things to us that we were very uncomfortable with, and they were inappropriate for an older man to say to young girls. And of course he asked to see if my mother was home, and Mom wasn't. Well, when Mom got home later that day, we told her about the phone call. And she said, "Don't worry. The next time the phone rings at this particular time," because usually the guy would call at the same time, and he only called that one time before. Anyway, Mom said, "I'll pick up the phone." So the guy called again. Mom picked up the phone, and that was the last we heard of that person. We told Mom. Mom intervened, and she was able to stop it. And it's the same principle on the internet. Just realize there's a whole lot more opportunity out there for cyberstalkers to lure children. And that's why it's really important that you stay connected with your kids. Not only because you want to protect them, but you love them, right? Finally, advise your children not to share any personal information with people over the internet. Pictures, real names, their age, where they live. This all gives a cyberstalker the information they need to find your child. Let me share with you a quick story about seemingly insignificant pieces of information. Right after college, I was in the Air Force during the Cold War. We were warned to be careful about sharing information called EFIs, or Essential Elements of Friendly Information. By themselves, these pieces of information were not classified, but an enemy agent listening in a fishing trawler off the coast of the United States could take pieces of information like where the colonel was going for dinner, what time he had to leave, why he had to leave early the next morning. That, coupled with, pieced together with other information that he was getting, could give him enough of a clue about an operation that was going to take place to where he could alert his superiors and they could be ready for some operation that we were planning or training exercise. Now, in the same way, children are not always aware that they're sharing information that can be pieced together. my daughter was in a chat room with someone one time. This was some time ago. And in the chat room, we asked her, we started to see there were some problems. So we asked her, we said, have you told this man? Oh, no, Mom, I haven't told him. Well, have you told this guy where you live? Oh, no, Mom, I haven't told him. But you know what we realized? He knew where she lived, and he knew how old she was. He was able to tease out of her age in such a way that she didn't realize she was giving him her age. And then, because we knew stuff was going on, I friended the guy. And you know what? I had as my hometown where we lived. So by friending this man, I let him know where we lived, where my daughter was. So we were immediately, I unfriended the guy. Unfortunately, he already knew. There was nothing we could do about that. But we were able to intervene and stop the situation that was going on, because we did have a stalking situation with that particular child. There's so much more that we could share, and I'm only scratching the surface. But these pointers can help you build better relationships with your children, as well as protect them from the tricks and lures of cyberstalkers on the internet. Remember, criminals are looking for opportunity, and they are also looking for anonymity. If you found this information helpful, then I'd like you to click on our website and opt into getting our newsletter once a month. Our newsletter will have recipes, helpful tips, and good information that will help you with your work and your travels. And you will receive offers about availability in the Southwest Texas region for corporate housing, because we are actually the only professional corporate housing provider in South Central Texas. We wish you a happy and prosperous New Year. And in January, we're going to talk about goal setting so that you can have the best year yet. Happy New Year!